Hey everyone, welcome to our video that we'll be doing today on Cardano. I haven't taken a look at Cardano in a while, so I'm going to be taking a look at things here. But before I get started, of course, this is not financial advice. I'm not your financial advisor. You're responsible for your own trades, managing your own risk, and doing your own research, and I'm just here to give my opinion on the market. Okay, so let's take a look at things here, 'cause this is really quite interesting. All right, so I'm looking at Cardano on a daily time frame, and of course, like most alts, they look atrocious. They look just like this, right? So we had, in 2017, huge spike, and then it's been the slow bleed of death. But I do think that we're getting close to a point where we will see some relief, not just for Cardano, but for a lot of alts in general, in staggered timing, of course. So, taking a look at this move, we have basically, I mean, it's hard to draw this out in a way that makes sense. Starting from here at the top, working our way down. We didn't even make it to the 382 as far as a retrace goes here. It just didn't work out. Didn't work out. And even if we take a look back here, taking a look from right here, going all the way down here to this bottom, we did make it to the 50. Then we had a front run of the 236, but we ended up just falling right through it anyway. Um, so I mean, not a whole lot of faith at that point because it was obvious at that point that we were in a bit of a bear market. Even though some of us may not have really paid too much attention to those signs at the time, but now here we are again. We're starting to develop that hope that things are finally going to start to move to the upside. And so I kind of want to take a look at the formation that we have here and see if this makes any sense for us to even consider. Um, so just real quick, and then I'll get this out of the way, our stochastics that we have here, we're just now getting a cross down on the daily. The 12-hour has been down, right? And the 3-hour is way down here. So 3-hour is telling me that there likely is going to be a little bit of upside. The 12-hour and the daily, I mean, the daily, of course, can, just flip and turn right back up. But the 12-hour, it's not real convincing that we are going to be moving to the upside. But, you have to look at the geometry as well. And what we have down here, we've got basically a cross of the 21 and the 55. This happened back on the 15th of November. And we're talking about a daily cross. And then we're still trading above the 21 exponential on the daily. All right, so if we take a look at this, we broke through, back here, we broke through the 21 exponential on the daily after trying to break up above it. We broke down, and that's where we got our bottom down here about 400. And that was the second time we hit 400. We had a front run up here, so I mean you could call this a nice triple bottom. And the absorption here is really good. And I've talked about this kind of thing before, where we closed way down here, and it was really close to the bottom of the price action. Then over here we closed a bit higher on the daily, and then over here we had a significantly larger wick. The buying pressure was a lot stronger each time we attempted to hit down to 400. So that tells me that there is definitely some liquidity down in the 400 to 440 Satoshi range. You can also take a look at this as well because this didn't get any wicks down there, but it still stopped at that same level that we closed right here. So lots of things are telling us that the bottom could be in on Cardano, at least for the time being. What we really need to see is this 21 exponential hold. Of course, it's been moving up a bit, and what we are starting to see here, once we did finally break up above, we had a test here, and then it moved up. We have had several tests over here, and then we actually had a nice move up. We had a local higher high. Of course, on a wider time frame, we're talking about this being another lower high, but nonetheless, we're still paying attention to the 21 exponential here on the daily. If we can support this and break up above 540, we'll call it 545 on a daily. If we can close above there, that would be ideal because right now what we have to contend with, we have this level here, which was support, and so now it's acting as resistance. So it acted as resistance here. It acted as resistance here, and it's now acting as resistance again. But I tend to believe that the more that we the more that we hit this resistance, more than likely we are going to be moving up above it. Of course, the next logical place for us to pay attention to is going to be right here at the 200 simple moving average on the daily, which is right now about 615. By the time it rolls around, probably it'll be down here about 600. So, right now we're trading at what, 519 or so? Yeah, so right now we're trading at 519. To move up to 600, you're really not talking about a whole lot. You're talking about, what, 20% profit or so. But that 200 simple moving average, that was resistance here, and that was resistance here. I have no reason to believe that the first time we go and try and touch that, we are going to get rejected. Now, if we do happen to break through that, then we've got lots of other things to pay attention to. So let's take a look at this. The first time, actually, you could say we had a front run here, but the next time we actually touched the 200 simple, we had a rejection off of it. We had a double bottom, and then we had a push up above, and then we kept above that 21 exponential on the daily until right around here where we broke through it. And as soon as we broke through that 21 exponential, it was a free fall. And then we pushed up, we were rejected off the 21 exponential. And then of course we kept trying, and then we retested that 200 simple moving average again, and then of course same thing. We had another free fall. Now, not saying that that is what is going to happen this time around, but I do think the first time we test this 200 simple moving average, it might push slightly through it. It might even go up to 650, but more than likely, I'm assuming we are probably going to get rejection there. So 650, that's that next area that I'm going to be interested in, just kind of keeping an eye on. If we are able to push through here. I do have a low leverage long position on Cardano versus Bitcoin right now. Nothing life-changing, but I was nibbling at a position, and I might consider adding to my position if we come back down here to about 514, maybe even a wick down to 500, but likely would probably be cutting things off probably on a push below 490 to 495. And that'd be for leverage positions, so real tight stop on those. On the bottom of this Bollinger Band, which is at 494 on the daily. But nonetheless, we're currently trading above the median on the Bollinger Band. We're currently above the 21 exponential on the daily. And of course, the 21 and the 55 have crossed. If we start closing above this 100 exponential, then I would expect that this 21 is going to eventually cross above here. Likely is what's going to get us that move up here. Do something like this, get us up to the 600 mark, which is where that 200 simple moving average likely will be at that time, as things continue moving sideways. So that's kind of what I've got on Cardano right now. I would say that this is probably a good place for a spot accumulation. I do also have non-leveraged holdings in Cardano as well, as I've been sharing with everybody on the Discord. So I have both leveraged long positions and spot positions on Cardano versus Bitcoin right now. Of course, my spot exposure is much greater than my leverage exposure, just to manage my own risk. That's how I keep that. And then if we come down here to 490 to 495, I likely will be cutting losses here. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that off at 493. Keep an eye on that for my leverage position. Otherwise, I do think a move up to 600, potentially to 650, is likely to come in the next few weeks. We're not talking about days. We're talking about likely 1 to 2 weeks. So as we get closer to Christmas, this is likely going to pan out. I'll hold on to my leverage position for a while. Of course, the expiration is at the end of the month, so we'll be keeping an eye on this. Obviously, I'll be forced out of that position once the end of the month rolls around, but nonetheless, I'll hold on to it for as long as I feel fit, and I'll keep you guys updated as the days go by. So if you have any questions or anything, feel free to pop in the Discord and ask away. If you need an invite to our Discord, just go ahead and throw in a comment. I'll get you an invite. It doesn't cost anything. And wherever you are in the world, hopefully you're having a good day, good night, and good evening.